aside. Don't always wait around. I've got a feeling I'm not the only one. I've got a feeling. Are you mine? Are you mine? Is it time? Are you mine? Stuck under your wing, wanna break out of this thing we act before we think, get pushed over the brink. I've got a feeling I'm not the only one. I've got a feeling. Are you mine? Are you mine? Is it time? Are you mine? Are you mine? Are you mine? Is it time? Is it time? Are you mine? Are you mine? Are you mine?
Canva Print and Canva Smart Mockups are two great tools that Canva provides to us that let us create professional looking designs and prototypes to market our business or for clients or whatever it is you want to do it for. But they do have some key differences. And because of the last show I did, I guess, where we're talking about all the different apps, some folks reached out because they were looking for some clarity around what each of them does and what to use them for. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to take a look at what each feature offers, where they overlap. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to talk about what each is best used for. I'm going to take more coffee and we'll get this started. Okay, hopefully we have the talking module activated now. So, Canva, all right. It's very clear to me that lots of you out there share my love of Canva, because after I did last week's show about what's going on with the apps and why you're maybe not able to access some of those, if you missed that, you can go back and check that out. But several people reached out because there's some confusion, a bunch of different things, which will be for future shows. But the one I wanted to address this time around is the difference between Canva Print and Canva Smart Mockups, because there is some overlap in the features, but they actually are targeted for different purposes and use cases. And purchases are a part of that. That's why that came out. So we're going to talk about what each of them are, and we'll do little demos on them. We'll talk about what the overlap is to help clarify all that kind of stuff. And as always, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, you can go ahead and post those in the chat if you're here live, or you can post them in the comments wherever you're watching, and I will come back and answer those as soon as possible. All right. So actually, let me check first, because it turns out a couple weeks ago, I forgot to run the countdown timer. And so the music did not turn off, but we're good. It actually didn't work out too bad. There was a nice little music bed under the bad news around Amazon Kindle purchases. But that's not really needed here. All righty, let's get started, shall we? Yes, Gamer's Paradise is making fun of me. This is just coffee. I'm one of those lucky people who can drink coffee any time of the day and still sleep just fine, because I don't really sleep well with or without it. But yes, it's just coffee. All right, let's talk about Canva. Well, let's start with Canva Print. So that's the first, since that's the first one here, that's what we'll start talking about, okay? So Canva Print, let me bring up their little promo about it. Get that out of the way. So Canva Print is a service that allows you to create and print high quality designs from Canva, right? So you can choose, there's a whole bunch of different templates out there to get you started. Or of course, as always in Canva, you can start from scratch, whatever you prefer. Or if you already have something, you can just upload it to Canva and then use this particular feature. And then once you've got everything dialed in, you can order it to be printed on a bunch of different things. And that includes things like posters and flyers and business cards and t-shirts and mugs and all kinds of different stuff. And the nice thing about it is, there's a wide variety of things that you can do, magnets, stickers. There's a lot of, you can actually see it, how it's going to look before you go ahead and pull the trigger on purchasing it. And the quality that you get from the things that you buy is quite high, and the prices are affordable. Now, when you first look at those numbers, it may not feel affordable, right? Because that's a sliding scale kind of thing. Everybody has their own interpretation of affordable. But as somebody who has purchased this kind of stuff, large scale, small scale, for different customers, for different companies, I can promise you that this pricing is quite good. So just to level set the field here. So let me just go back here for a second. All the links, as always, are in the description, but you can come here and get a feel for what it is that you could do. They show you some, t-shirts and stuff. Invitations, I've done many invitations this way. Water bottles, mouse pads, clothing, all kinds of stuff. It is quite a wide variety of things that you can create inside of Canva, and then be able to have printed and either shipped to you, or you can pick it up locally if you prefer to do that. So they have some different things set up for that. I'm not going to read all this to you. The link is there. You can go ahead and check it out. I did want to show you this additional page. Of course, this link is also in the description, because it does give a little bit more information about where it's available and how much you can do with it. So let me just highlight some things. So this in particular, I thought you'd want to see. This is the kind of thing that does change from time to time, but it does list out where it's available. They talk about, the regions where they can do shipping. There's some different, details about it. So this gets into some more nuanced stuff, but if you're going to use it, that could be important to you depending on where it is that you are located. So, and then there's some information here about sizes and what is available where. So for example, here in the US and Canada also can get vinyl and mesh banners, but not the EU. They can get, they can get the extra large, they can get the standard size ones. So again, if you want some information before you make your decisions, you can come here and you can figure out, what it is that you want and whether or not it's available to you and what the sizes are, all that kind of good stuff. So it goes on and on. I won't read it to you, but I just wanted to let you know that there was additional information, because that's really important when you're looking for physical products, right? The other thing that is really, really important, and so I want to get this out of the way early, and I'll mention it again later for people who jump in, the deep linking is a good thing and a bad thing. You can, as I said, you can design things, you can bring existing art into Canva and then use it to put onto different products to go ahead and order. It is going to get shipped to you. So this is not something like Printful or the other online stores that are out there, Shopify, that kind of thing, where you post your items, your customers buy them, and that service takes care of getting the product to them. This is a case where, like, if you want to do 50 tote bags, those 50 tote bags are going to come to you. And then it's up to you what you're going to do with them. Are you going to give them out at a show? Or are you going to, sell them and put them in boxes yourself? But this is not a print and ship to customers kind of thing. You're going to get whatever you order. So if you've ever used something like Sticker Mule, where you can go and you can have different types of stickers and decals and stuff made, it's that same kind of model, right? You can go in there, you can design it, and then when you place the order, that order comes to you. So just to make that clear, because expectations can be a disappointing thing if you go into it expecting something that's not there. So just wanted to get that out there. All right, so just to flip it to the other side, let's just talk real quick about the smart mockups. And I can, again, the link is in the description for you, but the smart mockup tool allows you to take your designs and create realistic mockups, right? Or prototypes, this might be a word that you're more familiar with, of physical products and also digital products. So we'll explain that more in a minute. So you can use this to visualize how your designs are going to look in the real world. You can also use this to create marketing materials for your products, even your services if you want to, right? So again, you can choose one of the existing templates, and then you can go ahead and customize that. Or if you have something you already want to use, you can upload that, or you can start from scratch in Canva and do the whole thing there. You can customize it. You can look at it in different things and different tools. So for example, like, if you are maybe mocking up a website, you could actually put that into a computer and make it look like. You could see, what would something look like as an outdoor ad? What would it look like on a phone? What would it look like as a brochure or a pamphlet? So lots of different flexibility, lots of different tools that you can use. And again, there's a whole thing here that will explain how to do it. Their website does a nice job of explaining things. But again, it's a way for you to visualize stuff that you are creating to put out there. So just as a real quick example, this is the kind of thing where if you were going to maybe do something for a client, and then maybe they're going to have that printed on something, or they're going to use that as the resource that they're going to put out there, you could mock it up, right? So whether it's a brochure or a website or invitation or whatever, and then let them see it. You could either share it from Canva or send them an image of it for them to approve before you continue the process. The other thing I want to make clear is that while these two apps do have different purposes, they can be used together. So you could use Smart Mockup to kind of get things started for yourself or for a client, and then bring it into print to finish out the process. So that's why there's some overlap between the two, because logically these two could work well together, or they can stand alone. Whatever it is that you need them to be, that's what they'll do for you. All right, so before we go forward, I just wanted to remind you that, as always, the best shows come from your questions, your requests. So if you have a comment, if you have an idea for a show, if you want more information on something I'm talking about, if you want a deeper dive, please reach out to me at yourtechcoach.com. There's a contact form there. Just go ahead, tell me what your question is. If it's real quick, I'm happy to answer it by email. Or if you have an idea for a show or something you want me to cover, go ahead, put in as much detail as you possibly can. If you want a response from me, please make sure you give me an email address so I can get back to you. The other thing is, if you need more than that, right? If you need a consult, if you need us to talk one-on-one on a Zoom session or whatever, there is an option on the website for you to book a consult. I am more than happy to do that. So here to help at whatever you need me to, but everything is available at yourtechcoach.com. Okay? All righty. So talking about Canva Print, Canva Smart Mockups, as always, I think it's helpful to actually see it. So let's start off by doing a little quick demo in Canva Print, and then we'll do one on Canva Mockups after that. Sound good? Alrighty, I'm going to take this down because we're going to need all the real estate. So let's go here. So with the links that I gave you, we're going to go back to print. You can actually, like, if you just want to do it from there, right here at the top, you can go ahead and do the link, or you can go ahead and start it from Canva. It doesn't matter. And all of this is available on Canva wherever you use Canva. So on your mobile device, in a browser, if you've downloaded the app to your computer, available all over the place and works the same way. So you don't have to worry about that. So just for giggles, we're going to start off doing it in the browser. So we're going to go here and say start printing. This I find is a nice workflow for this because it lets you kind of look at your options and figure out where you do want to start. And we'll show the other way to do this. But let's just say, let's pick something fun. Let's see, you want to make a mug? What do you say we make a mug? Okay. So I clicked on the mug and it brings me in here and it says, okay, you know, you're going to create a distinctive mug. And it kind of walks you through the explanation. Here's some example art to start with. And, you know, all different templates. So there's some really good information here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. So let's start a custom mug here. No, in here, I'm going to do one in the browser and then we'll do one in the app. How about that? All right. So here it's given us a picture. So the nice thing here is like, this is going to like give us that context of, you know, how big and all that kind of good stuff. So let's just go and we're going to start something from complete scratch here. Let's just grab some art, right? So let's see, we're going to do this and I'm going to make that bigger. And let's see what else we can do here. I know none of these are actually, you know, let's just say it's a general. Oh, please don't do that. It's a general art kind of thing. Come on. Okay. And remember, you know, we can now position things, right? So we can go in and, you know, we can adjust things and we can do it either as layers or we can do it just by this. So I'm going to do this to the top. Right, and I know that these are not the same, but you know, we're just messing around. And let's just grab one more image. Let's go back up here. Let's see. How about we say something like, how about vacation? I'm not taking one, but I understand a lot of people do that. So we'll do this. And let's say we want to make that smaller. And maybe we're going to add a plane just for giggles, right? And if you wanted to do things at angles, like you can do all the layout stuff that you're used to doing. But the nice thing is, so like you see here, when I did that, you saw that got cut off. Now, maybe from a design standpoint, you like that, or maybe you want it all to be here, but you're getting the chance to make all those decisions in context, right? So I'm looking at this and it's like, okay, well, let's say I wanted it to be like this. You know, it's giving me that real-time experience of what things are going to look like on this coffee mug. And maybe we'll make that a little bit bigger. And maybe that isn't showing up so well. It's a plain, so maybe we'll try to change the color. Let's see, something that really pops. I'm not finding things that pop really fast here. Let's just grab one. Let's do this. Want it even brighter. Ooh, that green is standing out nice. Okay, let's go with that. Okay, so I mean, obviously, I'm not spending a lot of time doing any kind of deep design on here, but it does give you this feeling of what it looks like. And then you can, you know, adjust the size, you know, so you get a more realistic feel for it. If you want to, you know, zoom in and get detail, you can do that. But this is giving you a very good representation of what you're going to see on this particular image. And now you can come up here. Let me just make sure you're seeing this. Okay, so if you look up here, it says print mugs is one of your options, right? You've got the usual share thing here, but right here is like, okay, if you're ready to just go ahead and start printing this, you can do that. And so you can come up there and click on print mugs, and it's going to put you into that particular shopping thing. So here, you're saying right now, you've got just one image on it. If you wanted to put another image on there, you could, you know, do the same on both. You could do another image. You could add another page and do it. I'm not going to do all the different variations because that would be more of a deep dive kind of thing. This is the nice thing about this for a lot of people, and that is that you can select one, right? Or you can order a bunch of different ones. So what I've done in the past is I've gone ahead and I've just bought like one piece of each thing that we're test driving out. And then I've given that to my client, or I've done it, you know, if I'm doing it for myself, I do the same thing so that they can get it physically into their hands, right? So a lot of times when you're dealing with a print shop for this kind of stuff, like if you're going to order mugs or invitations or whatever, there's a minimum order. When you're doing it this way, one of the massive benefits of it is no minimum orders, right? You can get one, you can get 100, you can get 1,000. Totally up to you. So I go ahead and I get one early on so that the client can hold it in their hands, decide if they like it, or the color is right, get all those decisions decided before you've spent the time and money creating hundreds of these things. So again, that's not always the scenario that you're going to want. You may want to go right away and do the deep dive. That is totally fine. But it is one of the perks of using this particular tool in that you can go ahead and get that physical thing in front of somebody to say, okay, this is exactly what it's going to look like. I need to know now what you want to change if you want to change anything. And having done it the other way where you're just kind of doing it off of a photo or, something you're emailing people, it's just so much more efficient to give them the physical thing and say, this is it. Do you like this? Because again, the expectations, the interpretations from a flat image and having the physical item in your hand can be very different. And especially if you're dealing with a customer, they can't always see it or articulate what it is that maybe they don't like until they've got it in their hands. So this is hands down one of my favorite things about this is you do have that ability to go ahead and say, yeah, I just want to try one. I want to see what it looks like. And it gives you some additional details on it. They do have a really nice refund policy. So if you're not happy with the way things come out, the company that this is tied to, works out with you very well. Only once so far have I had to use that. And it went completely smoothly. It was just no problem at all to go ahead and deal with it. So you've got that. And then you come down here and you can add to cart. So if you want to build out a cart of several things. So let's say you want to do this on a mug and you want to do a tote bag and maybe some stickers. You don't have to place 3 different orders. You can go ahead, add it to cart, and then go ahead and build out the same thing using the same art for the other items and then place the one order. So really quite simple, fun to do actually, to be perfectly honest. And we'll go in a different way just to show you a different one, but that's the general process. You go in, you pick it, and it can be that fast, especially if you already have the art. So let's say, for example, you have a logo, your logo or your customer's logo, and they're just giving it to you. You can just upload that into Canva, put it on whatever it needs to go on, position it, adjust things however you need to, and go. Something that used to take hours or days, you could do in minutes in this kind of tool, and then go ahead and place the order for the samples, try it out, and then if the customer likes it, you can go ahead and place the larger order. So huge time saver, and lots of fun. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to switch back here. So we've got this one. And so let's just start over from scratch. Whoops, got to turn off my little thingy here. All right, and let's just start, we're just going to create a design, right? So you don't really know what you want to do yet. So let's just try, I'm just going to do something custom size. What the heck, let's do that. Maybe that wasn't the best size to pick. Let's try that again. Let's try a different one. You know what? We'll just go 8.5 by 11 and we can mess with it later. Because actually that's a good thing to show you. So let's do that. All right. So we're going to do custom size. And we'll do 8.5 by 11 just because we don't really know what we're going to do yet. When we do smart mockups, maybe we'll switch over to the app. For now, we'll stay here. All right. So again, let's just come over and let's just grab some stuff. Let's see. Let's say that you got a restaurant, right? And so you're looking to do some stuff for that. Let's see, maybe do some text this time. So let's try something like this, maybe. Size it, and we're going to change the text. You don't have to. You can actually change the text of the colors without ungrouping it, but I'm old school and I like to ungroup things. Also, I want to move this apart a little bit more. So let's say, we'll keep this pretty simple here. So we'll say, fresh, please. Okay. And I'm like, I don't really like that color. It doesn't stand out enough. So I can come in. This is all just basic stuff that you can do inside of Canva. Right. So you're like, okay, yeah, I've got this. Maybe we'll put this here. Maybe I want the blueberries to come forward. So let me go and do that. And maybe I want the blueberries to be in this direction. Okay, bingo. There we go. I've got the little piece of art that I want, either promoting, somebody's restaurant or their store or their product line, whatever it is. Okay, and then you can come up here to share and you come down here to print your design. Let me see if I can, that will stay open for me to do that. So this is the option that we're going to pick. So this is just a different workflow, a different path that gets you to the same place. So by selecting that, you're going to be able to go in and repeat the process we just did. So you're going to come in here and it's going to be like, okay, great. What do you want to print it on? And you're going to go and you're going to look at all these different options. And so let's say this time we want to do a tote bag. Okay. And so it's going to resize it for me, right? Because obviously I've got a lot of wasted space on this. Okay. And it's just going to default and it's going to put it onto the item for you. So this outer box that you're getting, so I'm hovering. I don't think you can see my cursor, unfortunately. But when I'm hovering here and I'm getting that purple box, that's showing me how much space this particular tote bag has available for whatever art we're doing. And then this is my actual piece here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything I've got here and I'm going to group it. And then I'm just going to start resizing it. Right now, again, if I do want it, like if I want it to be a little cut off here like that, like if I like that look, that's how it's going to look on the bag. If I want everything that I have in this image to show, I just resize things until it's here. And again, just like we did inside of the image itself, if I decide that I really want this whole thing tilted, I could do that, right? Or if I want it smaller, and I want it just up in the corner, I could do that. So you have complete control of this. You can play around with this as much as you want to get it dialed in. I'm just going to keep it pretty straight here. That. And by the way, you can control this better inside of all the tools in here. I just like playing with these things. It entertains me. It's art therapy, basically, at the end of a week. All right, so we've got that. And again, you see, as I'm doing this, I mean, not only are we seeing it here in this example photo, but it's also showing me that over on this side image here. So every time I made a change, it was actually readjusting it over there as well, so that I was getting that context. And then again, once I'm like, okay, yep, that's how I want it to look. You can choose, for this one, it's just a one-sided thing. So this particular item must only have a one-sided print option. And again, you can choose how many you want. Do you want to just get one? Check it out, see if you like the quality, see if you like the way it printed, the way these colors come out. Because again, if you've never done this kind of thing, it is a learning experience, which is why these one-off purchases can be a real lifesaver. Everything you print on reacts differently to the inks that you're using for that particular product, right? So while you may pick a Pantone color to put on a mug, a sticker, and a tote bag, which is always the same, it doesn't always mean that it's going to be an exact match when it gets printed. And there's all kinds of color theory behind this, the, inherent colors of the item, the covering, so like with a mug, there's often a gloss cover put over it. So just keep in mind that it's not unusual to have slight color shifts. That matters more to some people than others, but just be aware of it. And that's why, again, having these one-offs being able to get a one-off is massive. And again, so you pick however many you want. It tells you a little bit more about it. You've got your guarantee here. And again, you can, check it in. You can do the checkout right away, or you can add it to cart and just keep going. So that is the basic process for this type of thing. The reason that this kind of lines up with mockups is because it's also a mockup, right? Because the image of this is clearly a mockup. That's what a mockup is. It's a representation of how something's going to look when it's being used in real life. So that's why some people get a little confused on both of these. But there's a good reason for it, and it's okay. It's nothing to stress out over. It's just one of those things. Depending on what kind of background you're coming from and what you're looking to use these for, people may refer to them differently, but at the end of the day, that's what we're talking about. The difference here in print, and the whole purpose behind print, is that with print, you're able to take it from that prototype mock-up stage and then get a physical product in your hand. without having to go through any other hoops, without having to find other vendors. You can do it all inside of Canva, which is a huge time saver, and much, much love for Canva for that, as always. And like I said, the links are all in the description. Also, there is a link for Canva. So if you are new to Canva, you're entering a wonderful world. Go try it. There's a link in the description that'll get you a free trial. All of this that I'm showing you, you can do for free. It's part of the free Canva, which, again, massively wonderful. Where you might need to go paid is if you're using certain images inside of Canva. You'll see if it's got a little crown on it, that means either you're going to have to pay a one-off fee to use it, or for some of the stuff, you're going to need to actually be a pro member. So good news is you can go ahead and give this a try for free, see if it works for you, see if it's going to become a part of your toolkit, and then make the decision later on about whether or not you need to buy into the monthly. All right. So let me make sure I've covered what I needed to talk about that before we start doing a demo for Smart Mockup. Yes. Okay. So let me just double check too. Okay. So we're good on questions. It's fine to go ahead and chat. That's good too. This is the kind of thing, like, it sparks a lot of ideas. And it's also something that if you're thinking about doing, something that you can give away, like you're going to a conference or whatever, or if there's something that, like, let's say that you already sell something, but you want to throw a little something extra in, right? You can do stickers, you could do a tote bag, like you could add a little something in with the order, maybe at a certain level or for repeat customers or whatever. It's just another way to engage your customer and your client base. Or if you just want to get it for yourself, right? If you just want to be out promoting your own products and services, you could whip up a t-shirt, a canvas bag, whatever, bumper stickers. And that way, when you're out and about doing your business, you're also advertising your business. There's a lot of different ways to use this kind of cool stuff. Alrighty. So what do you say? Shall we go ahead and look at Smart Mockup? Okay. All right. Let me go back to where we were. Okay. So once again, you can do this from, that one we already did. You can do that from the pages that I've linked you to. So when you're in here, if you're reading up on the mockup generator and you're learning more about it and you want to just access it right from here, you can go ahead and say, create a mockup. Here, we'll just go ahead and do that. And it brings you right in here, and it has the Smart Mockup right here on the side. Let me highlight that for you. Okay, because this is where the other one is sort of embedded in, not sort of, it is embedded into the functionality of Canva. This is another case where, like what we were talking about last time, you're going to be using an app. So you're going to click on that, and you're going to get this view here. And again, it's going to show you, some basic ideas here if you're curious, right? Again, so here we are with the mug again, right? That's why I'm saying that there is some confusion and some overlap. So yes, you can do mugs, you could do phone cases, you can mock something up to show how it's going to look on a computer screen. So if you're designing like websites or, whatever, sometimes that's handy. Or if you're looking to include so let me take that another step. So doing quick mock-up for a website, you could do it that way. The other reason you might want to use like that camera view, that computer view, or maybe the phone view, is that maybe you are launching a new product, or you're launching a new site, you're launching a new membership, and it's not live yet, right? It's being worked on in the back, but you've got enough of it, like maybe you've got the homepage done. So you could, screen cap an image of that, put it onto here, and then start working on your marketing materials, showing people what they're going to see when they join or when they buy. And that way, when the back end is done and, you've got the marketing ready and everything's ready together, you don't have to wait until the site is ready to then go ahead and take, screen caps of it to show what it looks like. So that's where you're going to get that kind of extra benefit from this kind of a setup. And that's where it's different from print, because it's not, the whole point of the Smart Mockups is not necessarily coming out with a physical product. Sometimes you just need that representation of what it is that you're going to be providing. So yeah, so all kinds of stuff. And you can do, notebooks and notepads, that kind of thing. So you've got lots of options here, and you can go ahead and flow through. I won't kid you, the first time you come in here, you're going to spend a little time. But they do make it easy on you, because if you know that you need to show how something's going to look on a smartphone or on a desktop or on a laptop or on a tablet, on watches, right, on TV screens, Or if you know that you need to just do this mock-up for print stuff, so brochures, frames, posters, all this kind of stuff, outdoor advertising, stickers, packaging, right? So if you're going to do, labels and stickers and that kind of stuff for that kind of thing, clothing, right? So all of these things, so they do make it very easy for you to jump in and find stuff, right? If you're going to do mugs, pillows, candles, whatever, it's got all these different options. Let's go ahead since I'm in a beverage kind of mood. So here we go. We've got all kinds of different beverage holders, but here's the other thing. You can also do a mock-up that already looks like an ad, right? Or a promotion. So if you are going to do something, with a coffee cup, not that I'm obsessed about coffee today, right? You could show it in context of where it might be used. So if you're going to design a bunch of, reusable or disposable cups, maybe recyclable ones, you can go ahead and pick one of those and make it work. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that as an example. Let's pick one. Here we go. This is my world, right? So let's say we're going to start a line of coffee cups with the nice little handle, right? But it looks like that old school, that traditional, more old school, I guess, diner type, right? So here's the image. Here's where this area here where you've got the clouds and the grass and all that, that's where you're going to be working. The rest of this is just the rest of your promotion or your ad or whatever. And that's the area we're going to be working in. So I've looked at that. It's like, okay, there are some other templates that it will recommend. Again, depending on what you're looking to do, if you're doing more of a mug or whatever, but I kind of like this on the go thing, right? Because you could end up doing this as a ceramic. You could do it as paper, whatever. So we're going to start here. Right. And then it's going to go and look at your uploads. And I don't really, let's say, do we have anything in here? Okay. Let's say I'm going to do Panda on a Bicycle coffee. Okay. And it immediately adds that on here and wraps it. Right. So you don't have to worry about, and this is one of the things, like this is why most people have to go to a graphic designer for it. Because if you're trying to get that cylindrical, a feel for it to see how it's going to look, you don't have to do all those calculations. You don't have to have the special tools to make that look. You could just go ahead and you drop it on there and that's it. Like it's good. You're ready to go. So let's go ahead and we'll just do another one just for fun. Let's go back to Smart Mockups. And you can save it. You can adjust the image, right? So if you wanted to do this a little bit, where is... Okay, so... let's do that maybe. Maybe you want it going in the other direction. There we go. Now he's going in the other direction. And I'm just doing this real fast, but you could probably, crop and do all that kind of stuff too. But actually, that's kind of cute. I kind of like that. I think I might want that. So you can go ahead and save it, right? And then you could, download this to use in your marketing, or again, if you're sending it as a proof of concept to somebody, you can do that. Or you can go ahead and use it in a design, right? So let's say you're going to make an Instagram post to let people know about this new thing that you're going to do. And you know what? Just for giggles, let's go ahead and do this inside the app. Just to show you that this works in both worlds. Oops, I got to bring this over. Why are you not... Okay, sorry, you're going to have to take my word for it because it's not loading right. This computer evidently is not set up properly yet. I'm still working on my new setup. What can I tell you? So here we are. We're in a Instagram post. So we've already got that size. And we could just resize this if we want. Reposition it. Maybe go like that. Right? And then you could just use this as your Instagram post. Or you could go ahead and, add some text to it. So let's say, here we go. Obviously, you'd, change the text. But you could go ahead and then turn that into an ad, a social media post. You could turn it in, if it's something, for your YouTube channel, you could make it a banner, your Facebook banner or whatever. But instead of having to do all of this math in your head and readjust things and all that kind of stuff and use all these different tools and do part of it here and jump into another tool here, you could do everything right inside of here, including just save it down. And then you could bring it into print and go ahead and put it on the physical mediums if you wanted to do that. So that's what the two tools do. That's what their strengths are, right? One is very much the end result being that you want something physical in your hand. And the other one is more about trying different things, presenting different things to your, trying it out for yourself or for your clients. And then once you get it where you want it, then you can go ahead and take it the next step if you want, or you could just use that image in your promotions and on your website and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people do this, like I said, before a launch, but it's also something that you'll see a lot of writers do. Artists maybe too. But so if you've got a book coming out, right? That whole process, that's a whole other thing. Like if you've ever been through that, it's a much slower process than you might imagine. But you can start to promote, you can start to talk about it. To be perfectly honest, when most people go on podcasts or talk shows or whatever, and they're pitching their new book, a lot of times when they hold up that book, it's not the book yet because the book is probably not available because you do this kind of promotion ahead of time. So somebody will print up the cover, put it around another book so they can hold it up during that and talk about it. But, it's the cover like for somebody's cookbook or whatever in the meantime. But you could also do that kind of thing for promotion, right? You can put up the site and you can pre-sell your book and then have a picture of what it's going to look like, because getting the artwork for the cover is faster than actually getting the book printed, and then getting it to the distributors and all that kind of stuff. So you can actually go and put it on the website, put all the information about it, put the author's photo and bio, and put the pre-order now button before you physically have a book. So all of these are the types of things that happen on a regular basis as part of marketing and advertising. This just makes it so much easier, and you no longer need to hire a whole crew of people to do it, which we're a big fan of around here, right? Because, hey, it's all about saving money and getting things done and being scrappy. Alrighty, so let me now just kind of, again, touch base again on where they overlap. So the overlap point is the fact that really when you're starting out, whether you're doing print or you're doing smart mockups, you're starting digitally, right? You're starting with whatever your art is, either bringing it in or creating it in Canva, and then putting it onto whatever it is you want to work with so that you get a feel for how you want that to look, how you're going to position it, what size you need it to be. Does it work, right? Sometimes you create your art for it and then you put it on the thing and you're like, oh yeah, that's not going to work because it's too hard to read the text, or, the images don't look the way I thought that they would when I was thinking about the bumper sticker or the invitation or whatever. Or, you know what, that font is really hard to read once you get it onto something that size. So that gives you the chance to go back and adjust it and tweak it while having that image to work off of to get the context for how things are going to look once you've got it where you want it. And then once you're done with that part of it, then you can with the smart mockups, then you're either just going to share the image, or you can save that image and bring it into print to actually create the bumper stickers, the t-shirt, the canvas bag, whatever it is that you want to do. So there's overlap because they both start kind of the same. It's just a matter of whether you just need the image or you want to take it the next step and actually place the order. And again, you don't have to place the order inside Canva. It's just easier, like I said, because you can do one-offs, right? Instead of having to buy a minimum of 50. And then find out you don't like it. It's much cheaper, much more efficient to buy one coffee mug and decide, yeah, I don't like this, than to have spent all that time and money on the others. So that hopefully has cleared things up for people. Hopefully that's made it a little bit easier to understand where you're going to want to go. If you have questions or comments, you can go ahead and reach out. If you need help doing these kinds of things, I'm happy to do it for you. We can talk about what you want and come up with a price for that service as well. But, don't hesitate. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out either, here on my website, or you can go ahead and jump in the comments and let me know what it is that you'd like to do. I usually do this earlier, but I'm going to do this now. I forgot. So for those of you who are new here, my name is Kathleen. I'm your tech coach. I do this show because technology is my day gig. It's also my hobby, so I live inside this world. So everybody in my world, my friends, family, neighbors, coworkers, come to me when they have questions. And I know not everybody has somebody to ask, so that's why I'm here. So if you have a question or a comment, please don't ever hesitate to reach out. There is no such thing as a dumb question. Nobody's born knowing this stuff. I am very happy to share my knowledge, just like I go to my electrician or my plumber or my contractor when I want something done in the house. That's not my thing. This, however, I can help with. I go to experts for that, so I'm happy to help out in the same way. All right, last check here. Make sure that we're good. Our side conversations are going well. No questions. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Oh, we went a little over. Sorry. But I did want to do these together because I thought that the contrast would make it easier for people to understand what it is that each one does and when you would want to use both of them. All right, we are here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. You are always welcome to come and hang out live. However, if you can't and you're watching this on a replay, hello. We're happy to have you here. Go ahead, put your questions, your comments into the comments, and I will come back and answer those as quickly as I can. All right, everybody, I hope you're having a good one, and we will talk again soon. Bye.